Hello, hello.
Ah.
How we doing?
How do you do 2 things at once, Jess? I don't understand. I've seen you a bazillion different times as we've been recording. You've been
Mhm,
searching for things, you've been reading things, you've been responding to comments, and still maintaining a conversation with me that
mhm.
is on point and on task, and I can't. Like, I literally am looking going, and I I can't write and respond. Like, how do people
I
do
don't think
that?
I could write and do it. I'm
As in,
not
like,
writing.
typing a response? Oh, like, on a
I'm not
text?
doing that. I might be researching, looking something up, but I don't think I'm able to write an email while you're talking to me because I
No,
will
I'm
lose
not
track of
writing
the
an email,
conversation.
I'm writing a text message.
I don't think I can do that. I mean, only if it's like a one-liner. Sometimes I can write a text message, but for the
Okay.
most part, when I was a designer all those years, I had the TV on just so that I would have something to tune out when I was working. So like I think it made me able to have audio input and still focus on something different at the same time. Um
Okay.
because yeah, I can follow your conversation. I've already read the article. I'm listening to your opinion, but sometimes looking away from you helps me hear you better. Like the nails. Doing my nails, I know you guys used to hate that, but, like, doing my nails when I talk to you actually helps me hear you better.
Yes,
It's like
I get it.
walking
No,
when you're yeah, yeah.
yeah, it happens
So,
to me as well. I prefer
yeah,
that
yeah.
also.
So,
When
oops,
I'm in meetings, it is and I know that you hate it, but it is imperative
but
for me to not be on camera when I'm on meetings sometimes,
mhm. Oh,
unless
I
it's
agree.
absolutely so important that people see me. Like, for whatever reason, there's meetings that you do need to be seen. But
Mhm,
for stand-up meetings or things that need to get things done, because I sometimes have like a notepad open, I have my notes in front of me. Sometimes I'm taking notes as the meeting is happening because
mhm,
it's an anchoring behavior for me. Like, it anchors
mhm,
me into the conversation. Because the minute I don't do that,
mhm.
I'm out in the like, it's
You're
my way of,
la-di-dying.
like, bringing me down, like,
Yeah,
I gotta stay present here, and this is how I do it. So, yeah.
yeah. So, I think we should start today's show, um, and I'm gonna do it real quick, and then I wanna tell the people what happened last time we recorded, and you can expand on it if you'd like.
Okay, I don't remember what that was, but
I know,
yes,
but I'm gonna
let's do it.
tell you and you'll remember instantly. Okay, so ready? Here we
Okay.
go.
Okay, here we go.
My best friend from high school was Wayne and Garth with her best friend from work for Halloween. It
Yeah.
was hilarious. It was such a good costume. Okay. Um 3, 2, 1. Hey everyone. Welcome to She Podcast episode 409. I am your co-host, Jessica Kupferman, and wish me with me as always the slightly smelly Elsie Escobar. Elsie, last time we spoke, we recorded the whole conversation together, and then I think within minutes or maybe hours, I got a text from Elsie that said, "Help me, the goats are out."
Oh my god!
That was a week ago today, by the way.
That was, no, it
And
was
then she's
tomorrow. It was
oh, it was
tomorrow.
Tuesday?
It
I
was
thought it was
Tuesday.
today. Okay.
It was
So
Tuesday, but it
yeah,
was pretty close. I mean, listen, my life, dude.
yeah, yeah. Yes. So yeah, so last week she posted me and says the goats are out, and I don't even know what to tell her. Like, how am I supposed to help? But I'm just like, hide.
Also,
Uh,
listen, so the reason, I mean, I would have texted you regardless,
yeah.
right? But
Mhm.
I didn't text you. I mean, I texted you then because I had a Q&A for our
Oh,
membership
that's
at 2 p.m.
that's
And
right.
so I
That's
was
why
like,
I
wait a
forgot.
minute. And I don't remember what time I texted you, but it was one of those things where I was
Like
like,
1 o'clock, like right
yeah.
before.
And I thought,
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, honestly, like, how do you put goats back in their cage when you're by yourself? Because, okay, can I give context? Can I just share the
Please
story?
do. Please,
Okay.
please do.
So, Randy, went to a conference in
Mhm.
Virginia Beach, and
Yes.
he
Oh,
left
yes. Yes.
Tuesday morning, and he was to
Yes.
be back on Thursday. Okay.
Mhm. Mhm.
The man has, not that he does that often, but he has had overnight trips. He goes to Wake Forest University to do some talks over there.
Mhm.
But it's never, 2 nights, 3 nights is about the extent of whenever he does some work stuff like that. So it hasn't been a while though. So he left. Everything was fine. I knew exactly what I needed to do. I have to take care of the animals and all of the things, right?
Right.
And that's it. That is it. I mean, it's fine. It's all fine.
All fine.
Literally leaves the house in the morning. Just I'm preparing, I'm doing my things, I'm getting ready to do, and then all of a sudden, I'm in the living room and I hear a noise. And it's because it's so quiet, you've been here. So it's fairly quiet
Mhm.
everywhere.
Mhm.
And it sounded like somebody was like moving shit around, like just loud moving shit. And so I go, my kids were both in their bedrooms doing homework.
Mhm.
And then the cat was like right in front, who is the only one that would make that noise when they go into, the bathroom or something, and you can hear the the litter
Crunch, crunch,
box.
crunch. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
right.
So, but she was right there. So I like I peek into my kitchen, and all the way across I see the tree is moving. That like the entire tree is going there's a little tree, and I'm like, "What is that?" And I
Yes.
got scared for a second because I'm like, okay, it could obviously. I mean, what is that, right? What's
Yeah.
moving my
Yeah.
tree? It's some
Right.
kind of animal.
Right.
And then I see the horns, and it's the boy, the black goat,
Which
is
is Pine, right?
ramming.
Or is that Pine
It,
or Bucky?
it's Pine,
Okay.
and so Pine was ramming the thing, and I go, oh my god, because the last time they did this, they weren't so adult. These are
No.
grown ass goats.
No, you sent me a video and they're kind of, and I mean I've seen them in person too, but
Yeah, yeah.
that video terrified me cuz it looked like he was doing it at you.
Yeah.
She sent me a video of him like
Yeah.
doing that to her, and like I was like, "Wow, he's really unhappy with you." I wouldn't want that in my face.
They
He
were
seemed unhappy.
horny as all get out. They're hormonal. They were in a
Okay.
rut. They both, and so they do this really weird thing, and they get very aggro, right? And they're
Mhm. Mhm.
boys and male. And so I was like, oh my God. So I'm trying to figure out how this is going to happen because there's no way I myself could even leave the house, as in step outside, because they are male goats. Like I can't, too
What are
much, too
they
much.
gonna I mean, because why? They're gonna chase you and then what? What if they caught you? Nothing can
Their
happen.
horns. Do you not see those
Oh, the
things?
horns.
They're horns. So listen, they are not, how would I say it? They are not aggressive in the sense that they want to hurt you. They are not violent towards another human because they want to hurt them. Like that's not what the deal is. You have to think about they are in a hormonal state.
Mhm.
They are overwhelmed with needing to procreate, and they are wound up, and the way that they show that is by ramming into stuff.
Okay, so including you. Okay, so I get that. So when
Yeah.
you say they're horny, do you mean both that they have large horns and that they wanna procreate, or just that
Yes.
they wanna procreate? Oh, you mean both.
Both. Yeah. They are both like in that, and they make these weird noises, and it's crazy. So I didn't know when. Anyway, Randy did get our pet sitter
Mhm.
who comes over and takes care of the goats whenever we leave to come and help out. Thank
Mhm.
God for this woman.
Mhm.
And then he reached out to our neighbor to just be ready to help out if he could. Thank God he
Mhm.
was there. But she comes in, and they are chasing her in her car. I had to run out of my house with a large umbrella to
Mhm.
ward them off, and
Mhm.
ran into her car. And then she drove to where their cage part was. They messed up our car, dude. They banged and
Oh
left
no.
dents on the outside because they don't know how to stop. Like they literally want to climb on top of the car. Then I had to get like a four, not, it's not, I'm not saying a 4x4, but it's like a six, maybe 5x2 board,
Mm-hmm.
straight plywood with handles like it's a, like gonna fight. I'm gonna go jousting. And you have to hold it and keep them away from you. Like you literally have to like push them out like that. And it's so heavy. So I got bruises all over my legs because I kept banging myself with the board. It was
Right.
a whole to do. Believe me, it was a whole to do. But two women got these two giant male goats back in their enclosure. And then my neighbor came in and fixed the part where they got out. Of course, we tried to do that prior to when they got in again.
Mm-hmm.
And I worked in there and I tried to, because there's one part of the fence that needs to be redone because it's not like they're trying to get out. It's just that they fight and they bump each other all the time and they think that they bumped each other and they lifted something up and they went like, oh, look, there's an escape route.
Oy. So they didn't bump you? No.
N-
Patrick wants to know if the family is done with the goats now. Of course not.
No, they are
No.
there. I
They're
think that
there.
it's a very unfortunate situation, like because because
I could
see here,
say that, yeah.
yeah, because what
Mhm.
happens is Rand knows that if he and or like let the goats go and we say, hey, does anybody want to take these goats? They
Mhm.
will more than likely be put to sleep because they are ornery.
Yeah.
They're not castrated
Mhm.
and they are they are excitable and they can be hurtful to other goats. Like they will just, yeah. So
Are the goats adding anything to society at this point?
no,
So then what's the difference? I guess am I being an animal?
they're
Am I
living
being
beings, and I think I can't. I mean, you have to understand that our household is the household that takes out the
I
insects.
know.
And
Actually, I've started to just
I
let
mean, the rats are relocated. Don't you remember that? The yurt rat
yes.
situation with when
Yes, I
Randy
remember
like
the yurt
drove the
rat.
rat away. He's
Yeah.
yeah, and there's
Yes,
like
I know. You're not gonna kill your goats. You're not gonna give them to somebody else to kill. And I mean, I'm just being mean because they're terrifying.
they are.
And I
They are
wouldn't want
great,
that near my house because they're not just aggressive, they're not
enormous.
enormous, but they don't seem if you've ever played that game Goat Simulator, it's not far off. They're illogical, quick, loud, angry, and pushy.
Yes.
Super pushy.
Yeah. It's
They have no chill whatsoever.
mm-mm. No, not at all.
I don't
And
want
it
animals around with no
actually, I think
chill.
one thing that I've learned about the goats is that they really are a amazing representation of male and testosterone
Mm,
embodied at its
this
most
is a
animalistic
holistic.
form.
Yeah, yeah.
And so that you realize, like, whenever you're like, oh my God, that guy is being so aggro, whatever, like when you see a goat behave the way that it's behaving, you see the masculine energy in them and you go, whoa, like that's,
Is that why you're keeping them around because you have 2 daughters and Randy needs the extra testosterone for things to even out?
I don't know. Who
Because he can
knows?
come
Maybe.
here and I'll go there, and this can be a house of all boys, and that can be a house
Oh
of all
my
women,
God. It is
and it
like
would
he
be a
no,
lot
no, no. I
better.
don't think I mean, I know he values his testosterone and maybe the goats do add to that because they do have that energy, right? He has to be like, "Ugh," like you
Yeah,
cannot deal with them without you owning your power and your
right.
masculine side. Like you
That's
can't
right.
go in there and go like, "Oh, cute little ghost." Like you have to be like, "Ugh, mm,"
Yeah, but
you know?
Patrick wants to know if you're not gonna get new goats, right?
No.
No, they're not getting new goats.
We did not choose to get these goats, by the way. Again,
Nobody
at
wants
some
them.
they just arrived one day.
They just fell into goats because that's Elsie's life. You just kind
Mm.
of the way people fall into a business or a hobby. Elsie just fell into goats.
Yes, we just randomly got goats, and
That's
it wasn't
how.
even a hobby or falling into business. It was sort of like, yeah, it's very unique. I don't think anybody really falls into this.
Yeah.
So yes, that's what happened, and thank you for bringing that up.
Yeah.
That was a
Yep. You're
delight,
very
and it
welcome.
stressed me out.
It
I
was
also put a reel
hilarious.
up with my voice in real time, telling my e-leaguers because I was doing my Q&A, and then I was
Mhm.
going to do I've been doing an hour of work hours, right? So
Right.
we just get together and do work, which often is that, sometimes
Yep.
not.
Yep.
And so I was like, I don't know if I can make it. And so I'm leaving a message on Boxer, which you all can hear on my Instagram channel. It's a reel there, and you can hear
Mhm.
my voice trying to tell the stories because I think it's a wonderful storytelling time. And also, you guys, the funniest thing though was when I was in the kitchen trying to avoid Pine hearing my voice because he knows
Mhm.
me, and I'm
Mhm.
trying not to speak. And so that's why I was like talking like this because if Pine heard me, that's what brought him all the way in. And I
Yeah.
saw him in our front window. My biggest fear, Jess, you know that in my living room, it's got that beautiful window where you can look out.
Mhm.
He climbed up and he was looking, and I thought this goat is going to jump and break that window. And that was my biggest fear. So I'm like hiding, and I took a picture,
Yeah.
and he's like, his head is like sticking out. I was like, oh my God.
He was terrifying. He's ugly and terrifying, honestly. Honestly, I can't I mean, yeah, I would never be comfortable living that close to those beings. They're maniacs, basically. They're just maniacs.
And the sounds they make are like,
Offensive, frankly, and not even because 'cause they're burping or farting. They just are offensive.
they are scary
They're rude,
sounds.
crude, and unattractive.
Yes, and you walk around and you don't even know because
Terrifying.
it's so funny when I sent a video to the people my Lipson team, like the marketing group. Like I send them a video of them making the noises, and then like one of the responses was like, I thought goats went bah, but no, they
Those are
actually
sheep.
don't do. That's not the noise that goats make.
That's sheep. You
They
made a
make
mistake.
cray cray noises.
Wait, is this it?
I did this. Put this here.
Let me
Oh
turn it
yeah,
around.
They're like all.
Oh no, that's not it. Where's the
that's it.
one? This must be it. This little psycho.
Yeah, that is the psycho. That is my psycho. That is my psycho goat. Well,
Look
both of them
at
are.
him.
Yeah.
Blah, 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 blah.
Hormonal.
Blah, 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 blah,
Hormonal.
blah, 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 blah.
Yeah. Blah, 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 blah. And like
Blah,
they're
blah, blah,
no,
blah, 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 blah.
and like
They're
they come
crazy.
at you. Like you can't like put
Yes, I
any,
know.
it's crazy. So
It's not like the petting zoo, people.
no, it's not.
It's terrifying. Anyway,
Yeah. In the middle of the night, that would scare anybody. Patrick Keller
totally.
agreed.
Absolutely.
It is not okay. Also,
So,
you should know, Patrick. Sorry, before we transition here, you should
yeah.
know. Isn't there a lot of iconography in the paranormal world that uses goats in there? Because I've seen many of them, and I have to say, no
Mm.
wonder because there are times when I'm look at these guys and I'm like, oh my god, they're really like scary with their whole horns and then their faces, and they look
They're
dark.
scary. They are
Like,
beings of the devil.
yeah.
The
Well,
devil has created the goat. You know how I know?
well,
Because their pupils are the opposite way that they're supposed to be.
it's like seriously, everything about
They
them is a
go
little
horizontally instead of
bizarre like that.
vertically. It's
Yeah.
the horns. It is the animal incarnate of the devil. It
Yeah,
is
and I'm like,
evil.
I mean, seriously, but
They're
like with this,
terrifying.
see, like Patrick's like this satanic community. But listen, have they
Yeah,
actually hang
exactly.
out with goats? Because in all honesty, you cannot do anything with those goats. Like if those goats were around your whatever ritual, they would destroy everything.
Yes. But
They
maybe
would.
that's the idea. They're anarchists.
They're anarchy. That's right. I like how Patrick's like, not my brand of paranormal. Okay.
No, no, that's Satanism. We should stop.
We should stop. Yeah, that is not that. I don't want my goats to
Yes.
even
Yes.
get that
So
idea.
we have some tech tools for today. Um yeah, so
I can do a couple of them. I'm doing fairly quickly, Jess, if you want me to do that. But I actually want to talk about, did you know? Because I think this will help everybody. And my child is the one that pointed this out to me, and I didn't even know
okay.
that you can now mark an iMessage unread.
Oh, I did know that. I've been doing it like crazy.
I did not know.
Yes, you can. You
And now
can
you
now
can do
mark
that.
them unread. Now the
Yes.
question is if you give read receipts and you read it and then you mark it unread, does that go away? I don't know that because I don't
Oh,
do read receipts usually.
neither do I.
Because that's too much information, frankly.
Yeah, I
Uh,
don't like it at all either. I do not like
I don't
that.
either. You don't
But
need to
that's a
know
great
if I've
question.
read your text. And
Yeah.
actually, I could go on a whole tangent, and I might do it right now. Are you ready?
Yes,
Here it
go.
goes. I got to get closer so that my words are impactful. Okay. Here's what I want to tell you, people, while we're on the subject of intrusive goats and text messaging. Unlike what we were taught as children, you are not obligated in any way to be available just because someone is trying to get a hold of you. And that is a very new concept, but I want to say it again. Just because someone is calling or texting or knocking does not mean you're obligated to find out what they want. You might care, in which case you'll answer, but I think people like I see, especially boomers, but I see people my age, around our age, late 40s, every time there's a text, oh, hold on, let me look at that. Every time there's a notification, oh, hold on, let me turn that off. And I mean, I understand why you have your notifications on, but they should be like, it should, I attribute it to like a kid poking me. Poke, poke, poke. Like, I don't have to, just a minute, please. Like, if you're doing something, if your head is somewhere else, they can wait. Let them wait. Let them wait. You are under absolutely no obligation, responsibility. I mean, you know what to answer. Your kid's school, your spouse, your kid, if they have a phone, work, boss. But like, if your mom's trying to get a hold of you or your friend or whatever, they can wait. Let them wait. It's not an emergency. You don't have to be available ever. Look
Mm,
at Bill Murray. His
mm.
career is soaring. He has no phone, no texting, a landline. He's never home. I mean, right? Like, you don't, like, he doesn't give a rat's patoot if someone's trying to get a hold of him. He's just out there
Yeah.
living his life, happier
Yep.
than a pig in you know what. So, anyway, okay, that's what I wanted to say. Now back to the originally scheduled program. Marking unread.
Hmm.
Oh, wait, did you know that you could do Command B? Hold on. Did you know that now if I wanted to mark this spot, I can do in StreamYard
Oh,
Command B. I can't tell if anything's happening, but it said I could mark this spot. Command B. Maybe it's Control B. It doesn't seem to be working, but we'll see. Maybe it did.
okay.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah. So you wanted to talk about. So that's interesting. In case you haven't tried that, you just swipe to the left to mark something unread.
wait, you
In
mark something? Wait, what? Because the way that, because
Swipe to the
May is
left.
the one that showed me how to do it. He, so May showed me from the screen, from this screen, from the screen
Uh-huh.
of people, right?
Yeah.
And if they send you a message, you tap on them, like on their
Mhm.
face, and then you get a contextual menu like that. And then it says on there like where they go. Oops, we moved Randy out of his spot.
See, look. See?
Wait, do it again? I missed it. Oh my God. That is so much easier.
If you want to do one of the
Good Lord.
people on your, the people who are pinned, you just long touch, long
Yeah.
pause,
You
whatever.
long
What do you
touch
call it?
on the pinned people. Oh my
On
God.
the pinned people.
I
I
am
know, it's
dying
great. It's an
with this.
amazing feature, I must
It's
say.
an
It's really
amazing
good.
feature that we've all wanted because, again,
Yep.
I'm obsessive about clearing notifications. That's why I don't have notifications because I don't want them.
Mhm.
But the things that
Same.
because the because when I do want notifications, I actually am compulsive about that, and I think I'm using that in the more clinical way. Like I'm not compulsive as in like I want to.
Clinically
No,
compulsive.
I am absolutely like if I see that there is an unread something, I need to
Mhm.
clear it or I need to act on it. And
Yes.
and so it's either a reminder, oh yeah, I have to respond to that message and that's why it's unread,
Mhm.
or I need to clear it, meaning look at all the things. Like I gotta, if I see Slack, my Slack channel, like, you know what I hate on my Slack channels? So
Yes,
when I
I'm gonna
go
know
into
exactly what
Slack,
you're about to say.
there's a little dot at the
Yep.
top. And I like to clear those that tiny little dot. I don't care. I want them clear. I don't want little dots. So when the dot comes in, I'll deal with it because it's usually a work related something. But there are some Slack channels that I've already said, don't alert me. And it still has that damn little dot. And I sit there
The
and I'm like,
dot
oh, I just want to clear it.
the dot drives me crazy, and in addition, I hate looking at Slack and having it tell me I have 25 things to answer when really I have one thing to answer and
Yes.
20 other things are in 4 other channels.
Yes.
That
Yes.
drives me
Yes.
insane. I
Yeah.
because I use this messages for the same thing. If it's unread, it means I have to do something. Even
Yeah.
if it sits there for a month, it's still an action item.
Yep.
Um, but
Totally.
yeah. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, I don't like that either with Slack. I can't seem to get those things to go away or to tell me, just there's not one button to just be like, Mark. I mean, there is, but it's,
There is,
a
but you
couple
have to
clicks
go
in.
way too deep. And I have
Yeah,
marked
exactly.
by the way, people, don't start telling me, don't text me or email me and say, oh, you can just set all of these in the notifications inside of each one of these
We
channels.
know. Yeah.
Already did that. There's still some notifications. Okay, while we're at it, because now X is doing this too. Let me tell you about
Oh
X. Okay.
no. Oh no. I haven't been on there in quite a while
So
now.
I have to be in there. So
I
let me
know.
just, but again, I have a compulsion about making sure everything is marked because it is my job, not because I
Yep.
want to be on social. Okay. So I
Right.
go into my job. And when I go
Mhm.
into my job, I have to look at all the stuff, notification, just the little bells that give you, again, a little dot at the top of whatever profile you have a notification about. Okay.
Mhm.
So I go ahead and I do that. And I have to look through the list of replies, retweets, blah, blah, blah. So I can look at it and be done my job. But here's what X is now doing. For my personal account, I have turned off every notification. I don't get
Mhm.
notified about anything, retweets, responses, nothing. I want nothing to do with that, but I'm still signed in. But there's always a little dot. And you know why? Because
Why?
X has decided every time somebody that I follow posts, they give me a little dot. It's a notification. And I don't want that. I don't want that. But you can't turn that off. I've turned
Mhm.
every notification off, but X is still wanting you to go check. And so the only thing that's happening on X is that somebody else posted something on it. And it's
Right.
telling me that somebody did that.
It's annoying. It's just honestly, even just referring to it as X is so annoying that I can't use it anymore. Like we post on there for She Podcasts now, but like I can't personally use it. It drives me crazy.
I can't either. So anyway,
And
that's
seeing it
my
being
personal.
reported on as formerly known as Twitter is equally as annoying.
It's so annoying. I
I
feel,
wish it would
here's
just
the
went
thing.
back.
Twitter's dead.
Okay.
I don't want to talk about Twitter anymore because it's dead.
Okay, so
It
then-
literally does not exist anymore. X is something completely different, and I want nothing to do with it. Like it's not a social media
Same.
that I want to
It's
be a part
something
of.
else. I
It's
agree.
something else. And so that's why
So
it's
you've
X.
replaced it with,
Threads.
and you still love it.
I still love it. I love Threads. I think Threads is. I like it. It makes me happy. Like I don't
It
have
makes you
like
happy.
yeah, I don't have weird feelings about X. I at this point, at the time of this recording, because things change all the time.
Every day. Every day.
So
Every day.
I enjoy it. I don't. You know what? All the people that are marketing and stuff haven't quite made it there yet
Thank
in
God.
Flux. There are a lot of things that you cannot do at scale for Threads as it pertains to a business. Like you have to use it, meaning you have to either be on the computer or
Hello? You're muted.
sorry.
All right,
I
that's okay.
muted
Either
myself
be
by
on the
mistake.
computer or
You can't be on the computer, I mean, you have to be on the computer or your phone to be able to appropriately engage with the platform, meaning post things
Mhm.
and respond to things. There is no third party service at this time for
Mhm.
managing at scale. So it helps, like currently at Libsyn, we use Agora Pulse, and it makes everybody's life easier because not only can I ask my team to take care of something like posting things and responding to something that it's not me, and or I can very quickly check all of the social channels and immediately address any fires that might be going in there or whatever. With Threads, it's an you know what I mean? It's like we thought we do all of these things and now
Yeah.
onto X, and there is no way to post things and schedule them. So content has to be in real time, responses have to be in real time. You have to use it like so I like
You
that
like that part.
personally, but I don't like that as a business. Like I can't like I always forget to post anything on the Libsyn channel because I got to remember. And I can barely remember like the stuff that I'm supposed to be doing.
Tell me about it. I know.
So
Does Threads
and
have annoying notifications?
I turned most of them off.
Maybe.
I turned all notifications off. I just when I go into Threads, I see the little heart has a little like it's red or something. I don't know how it tells you, and then that way you can see if anybody responded to your thing. But it's inobtrusive. Like I haven't seen. But again, I turned on the little heart. It's got a little heart at the bottom, and it's got a little red dot at the bottom, and that means somebody engaged with your post. Somebody followed you. Somebody loved it. Somebody shared something.
That's good to know.
So, and I mean, it's fine, but I enjoy it. I like how I posted about marking something on red, and now people are saying they're like, "Oh my god, can you do that?" Yeah, I think that this was like a
Oh yeah.
iMessage
can.
hidden feature that most of us missed.
Really?
Yeah, I love that. I didn't know that it was part of it, so I'm super stoked by that whole
Nice.
thing.
So did you want to talk about Descript? That's pretty big news.
Descript has just released a bunch of new AI features, and we're just going to tell our friends because do you use it? Do you use Descript?
I do for some things, not for our podcast. I use Cast Magic for our podcast.
So yeah, it
But
seems
no,
like
I don't use Descript unless I'm making a book or something, or I'm making a separate thing.
yeah, it's they've added all of these workflows, these AI workflows. They have YouTube description, which obviously because Descript now does videos, podcast show notes, so you can have that instant show notes for your podcast with chapters and time codes. They have social posts. They have a chapter generator, so you can have all of those things that you can insert in one click. And I believe that that's for the YouTube side of things. They have a summarizer, so you can get summary for anybody else which is great. And then they have the little chat feature, which is being able to ask the AI anything. So I'm assuming
Right.
it's sort of like I've done a couple of those questions over to, I also use Cast Magic. And like, let's say for an episode of the feed, I can say like, what did Rob say about the YouTube RSS feed
Oh, that's what
ingestion?
that's for.
And then like it will give me a summary. I can say summarize Rob's point of view about RSS feed YouTube ingestion. And then I get like a summary of that. So that's what those are for. And I
Andrea
think that's
says
great.
they're terrible.
Oh, the AI are okay. These show notes from
mean,
AI are terrible. Okay.
I don't think they're all terrible,
This is correct.
but I do think that they need to be edited like
Oh,
anything else.
yes,
They have
this
to
is
be
true.
edited.
Yes, this is true.
I mean, yes, snarky episode titles are always entertaining. But you know, Cast Magic does a pretty good job, I think. I mean, you only have to edit it like a wee bit. But I love it.
It depends if you have the proper, again, it learns from you and that. I haven't used it for show notes at all because it doesn't know what I want and usually gets the wrong, it gets a lot of things wrong. So I'm not using it for that. I think that the AI questions that I have seen, the AI chat thing that I've seen that has been really helpful has been from otter.ai.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it transcribes my meetings and what like, it's been a lifesaver for me to go in there and say, what are my action items? And it will give me the 3 bullet points of things that I have to take action on. And so what I've been doing in meetings nowadays is I will say, so I will repeat. So I need to, and I will say it, finish, the blog post and reaching out to the people for quotes.
Right.
And then that way I will get that back and I don't have to reference most of the things in there. So that has been a lifesaver. I love that. The other thing, and I'm sorry to say this, Jess, but
What?
I replaced you.
How dare you?
I know. I'm sorry.
What are you saying?
I know. You know how like I used to text you with like my writing and I could write a sentence and it would be like, okay, I understand what you're trying to say here, Elsie, but that's probably not the best sentence. Try this. Right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I would ask you like, does this make sense? And like you would write me back something that was by far much better, but you understood the idea, right? But I have replaced you with ChatGPT. So now I can just get the Elsie sentence and I'll go with that with that one Elsie sentence that I'm like, I don't know if this makes sense. So I literally go like, does this make sense? And then it tells me, no, it does not make sense because of XYZ. We suggest this. And then I either take it or leave it. And then, but even if I don't do the exact response, I can then go, oh, I see. I did misuse that term or I did misalign the sentence. That has been great. That was great.
I mean, if you want a cold, impersonal being that knows nothing about you to correct your work, then who am I to argue?
Yeah. And can I tell you the other thing that I really like? I would have been unable to do what I did because I had a time constraint. Is I had to do 2 presentations in Spanish and they were time like very strict in the time. And so what I did is I had existing presentations that I condensed and then I wrote them out. I wrote the outline out in Spanish and English on all of my stuff. And I would just go back and forth. Can you do, put this in Spanish? Translate this to Spanish, translate this to Spanish. And I would craft out everything. It was like, it still took time. And of course I was checking. I wasn't just copy pasting the response because I can speak Spanish. So that's the thing. But I was able to do these 2 presentations with ChatGPT as my team to be able to deliver, especially with terms like if I'm talking about advertising, dynamic insertions and programmatic ads, like I'm like, what? How do you even say that in English, in Spanish?
Right. Right.
I can barely understand it in English. So anyway.
sad.
that was my thing. So,
Well, yeah.
and
I mean, check it out. You guys have to let us know what you think. If you like it, if you don't like it, let us know.
and one last thing, guys. Audio hijack is one of my favorite tools for recording a
Really?
conversation. Yes, I've been using it for, oh my gosh, almost since they started, which was
Okay.
way back in the day. So audio hijack hijacks your audio from your computer, almost any audio. But now what they've done is it's essentially a software mixer. So that means that you can use, like right now I'm using the Rodecaster Pro, it's going in here, but at the same time, I could record everything into my Rodecaster that we're doing right now because I can do that with the mixer. But Audio Hijack helps you do that, and you can capture audio from Chrome. You can, it's how I record backups of Zoom calls.
Mm-hmm.
Should I even say this?
Why not?
Okay. Why not? Okay, here we go. Sometimes there are some meetings that I'm invited to.
Uh-oh. Maybe you shouldn't say it. Let's just say that Otter, is that what you're using, Otter? Otter is really good at filling in the blanks if you happen to be distracted during a meeting.
Yes. No, but that's not it.
Let's
It's
do
like
that. Oh, that's
usually,
not it?
but they have to, but you have to let the recording happen, right? So there's meetings that you don't
Yeah,
record,
you have.
right?
Oh, yeah. But
Yeah.
no, I use read.ai and I record everything.
Yeah, but people have to accept it
Okay.
most of the time, right?
Yeah.
So there are times when I might be having, or I'm watching. Oh, this is great too. Maybe this will be less disclosure of me. There
Okay.
are times when you do a, one time only workshop that you have to show up live for, and
Mhm.
you have to pay for the the recording. Okay. We've all done that. Those were summits, like a lot of summits were like that, like they have all the training and then you show up and it's free. But then if you want the recordings, you have to pay,
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah. Okay.
$100, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. So what I do is whenever I have that happen, you can actually schedule Audio Hijack to
Mhm.
record the stuff like on a schedule. So I can go in there and set it up and it'll record from whatever I want it to record from. And I have a local recording of that. So
That's
it can
pretty
be in a
handy.
browser, it could be off of a Zoom call, or Google Meet, whatever you're doing, you can pull it into Audio Hijack and you can record that. You can record it on one track, separate tracks, whatever you want. But now the bonus feature here, and it's our backup for the
Mhm.
feed whenever Rob and I record.
Mhm.
We use Libsyn's Connect to connect and record and have everything there. Like we're doing using StreamYard. So Libsyn's Connect is our StreamYard for the feed.
Nice.
But Rob also does a backup using Audio Hijack. So if something happens with that first recording, we have the backup of Audio Hijack. And so he has a separate track for his voice, a separate track for my voice,
Very
and
nice.
then we have that backup for Audio Hijack. But now Audio Hijack has built-in transcription. So if you want something transcribed now, you just pull in that and you're golden.
Mhm.
Built in, which means you don't have to buy a transcription service if you don't want it.
Yeah, I mean, lots. Yeah, Read AI is like that too.
So
Yeah. I know
Anyway,
it's pretty nifty if you want to see. We
all
like
these
it.
tools.
Yeah. So, okay, well, I mean, we could either pontificate for 15 minutes or we can let them leave.
Yeah.
And
Well, you
and
wanted
is
to
that what you
talk
want?
about something else that I don't know if you want to talk about now, because that's why I
I'm
talked
having
fast.
I think I'm having a hot flash. I'm
Oh
sorry
no, are
over
you having a
here.
hot flash? Do you
I
want to
just am
like?
sweating my tits off right now for some
Yeah, me
reason.
too.
Are you?
But that's just because I think I have a lot of lights.
Yeah. Oh, I thought you were saying like you put your hand on your boobs like where'd they go?
Well, they are gone.
It was just
Absolutely.
funny. I'm sorry. It was just funny.
You
Um
don't. You've got. Yeah. I mean, I don't
Well,
think I wa
what? You don't
I
want to
was
talk about
just
it?
thinking. No, 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 I just was
What?
thinking, like, no, it was just about the boobs. I'm like, I don't know if I ever wanted more boobs, like,
No,
I mean,
I
they're
assure you, you did
nice.
not. They're useless. Um, no, they're fine. Whatever. No, we did not order white microphones. I don't believe so. No. Okay, so we were going to talk about something else. And I guess we can start this conversation. I'm afraid.
Are you?
Kind of.
Okay, you don't have to. We don't have to.
I
It's up to
know.
you. Because I can talk for another 15 minutes about all kinds of other stuff like skincare.
Ugh. Hold on a second. Let me think about it. You want to talk about skincare?
It's up to you. I mean, I honestly have been super into it. So,
I love that.
oh,
Now I want to know
I
what
like
you
only.
know, but also here's the thing. Elsie and I before the call, we were discussing how to move forward with our group and our membership. Um the She Podcasts empire, if you will. Because I still haven't quite gotten to the point where it pays for itself or any of the employees or anything like that. And I have some ideas on how to do that, but I want them to be painless for the people who are in She Podcasts. So one of
And like, why are you laughing at my face?
no, I'm just
Okay.
trying to I'm just yeah. Um One possibility is just to let it run itself and Elsie and I sort of like bag out. I mean, we are starting another part of She Podcast. You know, I've been talking about a network for a little while, and we're getting closer to that. But that's kind of separate from supporting this community. Um, because we'll be selling ads on a network and onboarding shows and things like that. Um, but that's like a whole separate business from what this is, right? So,
Mhm.
um, we tried Patreon. So here's the things we've tried in the past, right? We've tried Patreon and we made like $1,000 a month that you and I used to split. And that was nice. But I still think I still had my business at the time, so it didn't matter how much we got. It was just mostly an experiment. Um, we tried the event, which was successful the first year, and then because of the pandemic, sort of shit in its own bed. And then, even though it was really great, and I thought the events were amazing, it's not financially feasible to keep that up in today's changing climate. There's also the membership. We have a membership. If you go to membership.shepodcast.com, it gives you a library of all the things. It also promises QAs, which no one comes to, and a Facebook group, which is sort of dead. I could change that to a Slack. Um, Here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking of making the membership paid-ish in the Facebook group. And I would love to know your opinion. So here's how it would work. Everyone stays in the group, 21,000 people. But if you want to post a question, you have to be part of a monthly membership. So how it would work was you would pay for the month and then you would um the first time you get into it, you would make a post introducing yourself and then I could pre-approve you in the Facebook group to post anything you want. Everything else would be admin approval and only people who paid the monthly small dividend, like $5 or under, would be able to post questions. You can still comment on everything, reply to everything. The only thing that changed is only paid people would be able to post questions of any kind. So, like, if we did Windbag Wednesday, you'd still be able to comment on that. That's not going to go away. But if you have a question about your specific problem, unless you've paid that nominal fee, it's not available to you. I don't know how many people. I mean, I can see that all three of you are listening right now. But like, if you're listening to this later, I want to know what you think about it. How you feel about it. It would also be like, I'd also like to change the membership in the sense that like I'd like to do QAs and webinars and sessions and QA, all the things in the big group though. Like I'd love to do it in the big group and not a small group. Because I would want to be able to share the knowledge with everyone, but just in order for you to participate back, you would need to pay a little bit of money. So what do you guys think of that? And all three of you who are listening, you can post it now and tell me what you think. Is it a terrible idea? Because here's the thing. It's been 10 years. We are coming up on 10 years. 2024 marks 10 years of doing this show and having this group. It's actually probably fall now. It's probably now. Now is probably the 10-year mark. But I know for sure that it's 2014 because that's when I had Isaac and I was pregnant when we started it. So now he's 9. So here we are. Okay. So then the question is, what do you guys think? It's 21,000 women. Right now, it's heavily adminned by volunteers, which isn't a perfect system, but it does work. But it does take time, manual labor, and money to be able to offer even just that. And it's doesn't pay for itself. It doesn't pay for the effort. So, Elsie is already full-time employed with someone else, so she can't put forth that effort for free. Or even if it wasn't free, I'm not sure she could put forth the effort. Look, it looks like I'm wearing a little crown. You see that? Look at my Okay, anyway, so that's one. I mean, one of it I guess you just let it run itself. One is to just turn it into a paid membership. One is to try and find a different way to, of give and take, webinars that you pay for once a month, or, having each product that we have available for individual sale, I guess. Probably no more events for a little while. Anyway. So Lisa says the ability to ask a question is valuable. It doesn't bother me to pay for what you offer. That's very encouraging. Thank you, Lisa. I love that. Okay. That's very encouraging. So I'm hoping that most people in the group will feel that way, that they would rather pay $5 a month and be able to post questions and support the group who's been around for 10 years and hasn't really made very much money, or or they would just sit, and if they're, because also it's a phasal thing, right? It's almost like a pregnancy group in the sense that you join a Facebook group when you're pregnant or thinking about getting pregnant. Then you have the first trimester, second, third, then you have the baby. Do you stay in the pregnancy group? Because once you have that baby, pregnancy is no longer interesting, I assure you. So, like for our members, yeah, there's 21,000 women in there, but they're not all active. In fact, half are active, which means that from that, so let's say 10,000, from those 10,000, I would say that like 3,000 post on a regular basis and the other 6 are helpers. They answer questions, they're top commenters, but they're not seeking information because they're just not in that phase anymore. So when new people come in, then it starts again. They'd want to pay, but probably not forever. Unless they want to keep supporting She Podcast. So, I mean, anyway, I'd love to know what you guys think. Thank you for commenting, Lisa. I appreciate that. I would really want to do it sooner rather than later, too, because we have the event coming up in October. Nope, sorry. That's muscle memory. It's coming up in January in Orlando. And I'd like to have this established before then. So I don't have to announce it then, because I'd like to announce the other things we're working on then. Yeah, it's more valuable for newer podcasters, probably.
It depends. I think I've seen some posts that, the hive mind of this is where I see the value of being able to get information quickly from a very specific type of group. Like, I think for me, I would find it valuable to do $5 a month, hands down, to just have access to be able to ask questions when I needed to. It's like being able to go to an already vetted area that has people that are going through what you're going through. Like even, your business and babies group that you have. Like,
yeah.
I don't post there very often, but it's a really valuable group that I belong to, because when I do have a question, I know that there's a very specific type of woman that's in that group person. Right. So I'm like, it's a great balance. And so if I'm like, there's a post that I wanted to post in on to podcast, which was trying to, and if anybody listens to this, please reach out to me as well. But one of the questions I wanted to ask is like, what are some things that you have noticed in terms of social media for you as a producer and or creator? Has
Mhm.
there been a shift in social for you, as in responses from people, the type of things that used to work and don't work? Has
Mhm.
your community grown a lot? Like, I just wanted, and not that I wanted to sell anything to anybody, I just wanted to check
Right.
my own experience about what
Yeah.
I've been seeing. So I don't want to confirm my bias. Like, I wanted to, so that would make it easy. Like, I'd be like, I'm glad to pay $5 a month to be able to post
Check in
and
with your
get that answer
tribe, with your people.
with
So
my
yeah,
people. Yeah.
$5 to be able to check in with people that you already trust, that you know are supportive and not judgmental and not trying to sell you something. $5 a month to vent about something in the group where people can relate to you, because like I've used that group just to vent about something that's happened. I mean, it hasn't, nothing weird has happened for a while, but I used to do the interview show and I was constantly venting in She Podcast about how frustrated I was. Um, so it would be, about venting. It would also be about wins. You could post I mean, I would have to make a rule as to what, if you're going to be pre-approved, you still can't do, you still can't sell something. You can post links to your show, but, you know, no opt-ins, no
But
sales pages, no what?
before you go down that rabbit hole though,
Yeah.
Jess,
I
I
know,
think
I'd have
that
to work that out.
it's not, I think that the idea is there. It can possibly work, but in my head, the first thing that comes to mind is this is Patreon. Like, that's what a
It
Patreon
is.
is for. That's what
True.
it's like. And in terms of, because it is so low, and hear me out with this.
Okay.
In our process, if I were to call out something that was working for us, not to the extent that it was so amazing, but that
Mhm.
was working for us, was the
Mhm.
Patreon.
It did work for us, however, at the time we were using it, our Facebook group even then was like 5 to 10,000 people, and we only had, I mean, I don't wanna say only, but we made $1,000, but it was probably like
But
100
Jess,
patrons.
Jess, we
What?
never promoted it at all.
I know. Well, we did.
We didn't.
I did.
Yes,
I started putting it on the Windbag Wednesday. If you get value from this
right.
post, please consider our Patreon. We talked
Right.
you're right. We didn't talk about it on the podcast,
We
but
didn't
here's the
talk about
thing.
it on the pod. We didn't do anything
But here's the thing.
extra for
It's
it.
true. True. But here's
It
the
was
thing.
male and female. People were often like, there was a couple of people who didn't move to our other membership. You know why? Because they were giving us $5 a month because they just wanted to give us $5 a month. They didn't care.
Right.
So there's
Right.
people who just want to give that money to She
Yeah.
Podcast, the
I
end.
know.
So we had a lot of people who did that, and I was cool with it. And they could
Yeah.
choose what they wanted. So
However, Patreon is requiring people to go and sign up for and use an entirely other platform when everyone is already on this platform. So I can either continue to allow them to use it for free, or I can say, hey, you've enjoyed 10 years of free content. Now, if you want to take advantage of this group, here's what's going to cost. Here are the rules. I know I'm on Patreon for a couple of people. The tarot lady is a perfect example. She does 2 classes a week on Patreon. She does special like things that you can download. You get stuff early from her. I love it. If I thought a Patreon would work as a membership where I could offer lessons and QAs and stuff like that and people would show up, I would do it. But I think by giving them that kind of choice, they're like, not now, maybe later. It's okay. Whereas for this, if
they
they want
have
to
to.
use it now, they have to.
And see, here's the thing for about it too. I think that sometimes it is more like buy me a coffee kind of a vibe. Like the Patreon
Yeah,
model
right.
is kind of like a
Exactly. It
donation.
is.
But
That's
here's
right.
the other part of it. Whatever is behind the Patreon wall needs to be something that somebody really wants access to, like in a big way. And unfortunately, right now, the amount of podcasting education and access to experts is everywhere. And our profile as experts that serve this type of a community is not as high as those people who are constantly showing up. So that funnel, meaning that front part of the funnel, is the social component. It's the lives on social. It's the I'm here. Who's going to ask me a question? I have to do the thing. Live streams on YouTube. Like they work their asses off to get that people to pay the amount. And I know for me, I'm not willing to do that anymore for free. And so
But you did just say you would pay $5 to have access to the group, period.
Yes, absolutely. But I would also have the $5 access to whatever special something or other. Like, so I've been obsessed with the pop culture Bravo universe podcasters. I've been obsessed with them. And they all have Patreons. And what I love about them is because they'll do things like when they're covering the housewives of whatever, right? All the housewives. So they will do a regular episode covering one of the famous housewives, like Housewives of Beverly Hills. But if you are really obsessed with Bravo, and then they'll do like, oh, I'm covering the Kardashians episode 1 and 2 in the Patreon. And so you're like, wait, what?
Right.
I can't get access to that. This is lame. Like, and then you go look and it's like a $5 Patreon. There's another guy who does gossip. And so, and there's another show that I love. It's called Beyond the Blinds, and it's amazing. And so they will put out episodes that are for everybody. And then they'll do like Patreon only episodes that are going deep into like super famous, like the Tom Cruise stuff is behind the Patreon wall that you can't, it's not public. So you have to pay $5 a month to get access to all of that stuff. Mind you, that's content though. And
it's not a service, right?
I don't want to do content. Like I don't
either.
I don't want to do more content.
I mean, if I do want to do content, it's not for the same purpose as what you're saying. Like, I'm not trying to get people to listen to or read our content.
Right.
I just want people to pay to use the service that they've been using.
Correct.
For free. And if I decide to include content going forward, that would be a whole different story. Then maybe I would try and figure out.
I think that
do that.
It would be a community. I mean, yes, to pay $5 a month for being able to post questions. Yes. And I would also expand the ability for people to pay $5 a month that don't want to be part of the group, that are men who just want to donate to the She Podcast community for it to continue.
They could do that through there too. That's wouldn't be in the group.
That's all I would want. And then we can have, like, even with Patrick says, have a monthly Zoom party with members just chilling and laughing. We could do not even monthly. It could be quarterly. And that way it'll step us back. We don't have to do that. We'll have like just a basic no investment gathering. And that's the thing. It's like, there's no like, let's pretend there's like, let's pretend we get to like $1,000 a month just because it's a round number, $1,000 a month donations. Yay. And then we throw a party that's like a $20,000 or $10,000 party. There's no, like, that makes no sense. Like, that makes zero sense.
Of course not.
We need to have like, no, it doesn't build on it. So I think part of it is access. Yeah. And having the opportunity for other people who are not part of the She Podcast group to invest in it and support so that that continues going forward. And because in all honesty, you got to be like super clear and be like, if you value this, you have to pay for, like, I'm sorry. I literally currently right now, unfortunately, I also had to stop my donation to another nonprofit that I have been supportive of for the past 4 years. And I understand it wasn't a very big donation. That was a monthly donation, but I had to make a call. I had to not do it. They are hurting, by the way. It's not like I did it at their peak. They are hurting. Everyone is hurting. Everybody is literally going to disappear. So if you want to support She Podcast for what it is and what it has been moving forward to be a place where this exists and have infrastructure around it so that we can keep it going, then you do $5 a month, I think is a pretty okay ask to be able to do. And if
I
you
think
want
so.
more, then you need to set up a system where people can do the buy me a coffee type of a vibe, like PayPal recurring or whatever, to be
Mhm.
able to do that. Because, you know, like I pay for the
Yeah.
museum that we go to all the time. It's $12.90 for $12.50. I don't even
Right.
live there, but I want the museum to continue. And it's been so meaningful to my kids, and I attend once a year with them.
Right.
I don't want to stop those $12.
Yeah, and you shouldn't, right? Because you want to support them. Makes sense to me.
It's just that
I
I'm done
totally
now
agree.
with the whole value for value, because the value that I believe She Podcast has brought to so many different people has been, it's a lot. And I'm not keen on you know how you opened up this conversation with the whole, the whole text messages diatribe that you
Yeah, yeah,
talked
yeah.
about.
Yeah.
We're at a point now where the audience demand for, look at me, take care of me, I want stuff, I should be able to get all this shit for free. Like,
Mhm.
I'm sorry, but we can't do that.
Right. Right.
uh
We can't and
we
we don't
cannot
wanna.
do that. And in order for something to move forward, it has to be worth it. And
Yeah.
it's not
I
right
mean, I
now. It's
guess it would
actually,
be
yeah,
the
go ahead.
conversation is really more if you feel this is worth me continuing to pursue, then I need that to show. Otherwise,
Right.
I have to pursue something else.
Correct. And I think that that's a really yeah, this is it. It's like if
Yeah.
this is of value to you,
Mhm.
then consider this. We will, and you can reassess
Yeah.
in 6 months and give yourself a date and see
Yeah.
what actually happens,
Mhm.
and come back and say like, well, thanks to the 5 people
All 5 of you.
who decided this was worth it. You have spoken very loudly. Thank
Thank
you so
you.
much.
You 5 can come over here.
Yes,
Everybody
exactly.
else,
Yeah,
bye-bye.
and that's literally that needs to happen. Like, there's no more catering. There's no more, like, I just don't think
Right.
like hand holding. And it's. I'm sorry,
Right.
but we got to move forward here, people.
Right. Agree.
It's got to make sense.
All right.
There's
Well, this has
for
been
everybody.
very helpful in helping figure this out so far. Um, and yeah, maybe I'll put it together and see how it goes. But thank you guys. It's after an hour and today's Isaac's birthday and I have to go get him.
Happy
But I
birthday! I
first
forgot.
have to wrap his presents, so I have to run. But
Oh my God! Go run! Go run! Go do the thing. Happy birthday,
thank you.
Isaac.
Can't believe he's 9. It's like every time he has a birthday, so does she podcast. It's weird.
Oh, but actually, She Podcasts, from what I remember, it's not. It's like a year from now from what you're talking about.
Mhm.
Meaning, I mean, a birthday is, when did you start? The group is I believe it was not, it wasn't in fall.
I think it was in June.
Yeah, that's
May
what I
or
was going to
June
say. It's
of
like June
2020 of
4,
2013.
2014.
No.
Correct. You're right.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was like
Yeah.
right around, it was springish time because we went to the conference, then what is it? New
That's
Media
right.
Expo.
That was January. Yep.
That was January. Then you created the group.
Yep.
Then we created the show
Right.
in the summer. So it was somewhere in
That's right.
between the first Q1, Q2 area. So it's
Right.
next 10 years will be
Next
next
January. Okay,
Q1
right.
or
Right.
Q2.
Okay, so 9. Right, right, right. Okay, so it's coming up, but still. Yep. All right.
What is
Well,
the
if you
photo
want any of
behind
our
me? Wait, somebody, sorry,
mm,
before what photo?
no,
You
Patrick
mean
wants to know what's behind you. There's it
this?
looks like a no, it's like looks like a retro class picture.
It's not. It's actually a beautiful book, Patrick. You're the first person that's ever asked me. I love this thing. It's a book, and
Oh.
it's about
Whoa.
migration, and it opens up.
Whoa.
It's so beautiful. Look at that.
Aw. that is
It's
very
about
pretty.
it was a beautiful book. It's yeah, I love this book, and it does have a small art about migration from Central America.
Mhm.
It's gorgeous, actually. It's a
It
piece of
is
art.
cool. It's very
It's a
pretty.
piece of art, folks. It's a piece of art. Okay.
All
Anyway,
right.
thank you.
If you want any of the links from today's show, go to shepodcast.com. You can also find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Pinterest. Am I missing one? At She Podcasts. Also, our tickets are now on sale for the event that we're doing in Orlando in January. It is all interactive workshops, 5 or 6 interactive workshops that you get to both learn and participate the entire day. So it's going to be really exciting and fun. We also have an opening party. We also have Sonic Bloom Awards. It all comes with the ticket price. So go to shepodcast.com/SPL and get your tickets there and to learn more. Otherwise, thank you so much for being with us today. If you want to send us an email, let us know your opinion. It is feedback@shepodcast.com. Thank you so much. We enjoy you so much. Love you.
Mean it.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. All right.
Bye.
Thank you
Yeah.
guys so much for being with us. We're going to end this stream now and I'm going to go wrap some presents. Bye.
Bye, y'all. All right, dude.